Hey, my Forest Classroom friends. I'm here today at a vernal pool. We visited this place a few weeks ago, but it was at night. Do you remember? And we were watching a spotted salamander. Well, anyways, I thought I'd come here today and see what kind of organisms might be here. I brought a few fun things with me, just like I did last time one of the other times we were at a pond. I have a little net, I have a bucket, and I thought this time to bring some extra small containers. So, come join me, let's see who we can find at this vernal pool. So, a vernal pool is a temporary body of water. It's typically in a woodland area, like you see here, at least in New Hampshire and in Vermont. And it is a place that holds water, like we're seeing here, but only in a few of the seasons out of the year. There's no stream that runs into this or no river. So it doesn't have a source of water. So when it gets warm enough and things dry up, this vernal pool will dry up as well. I actually like this spot over here. I kind of like being on this rock, and I do a dip with my net, and when I do that, I've brought up a lot of extra things. So I'm going to just carefully take the leaves out of there. Might check and make sure there's not any kind of a little organism right on there. And I come back to my bucket, which is really close by. I make sure that when I'm doing my netting, I'm right near my bucket. And when I get to my bucket, I put my hand under my net, I tip it over, and I give it a little bit of a shake in there. Oh yeah, we've got some things happening in here now. And then I lay the net aside. Take a peek in here with me at just what that one little scoop brought us. So you might notice something down here that looks like a tadpole, but it's a little bit different. That one right down there that's wiggling, it's got a little bit longer of a tail than a tadpole. And notice, just on the backside of its head there, it looks like it has this crazy wild hairdo. So that's someone who's a little bit different than a tadpole. So let's remember some of the things that we're noticing about them, okay? So that one has sort of this round bulbous head. Looks like it has a crazy hairdo, bad hair day. I can totally relate. And a long, thin body. Let's see what else we know. Oh, check this out. Somebody's moving in here. So let's watch that one for a minute. And a second one right next to it. Maybe you're noticing reaching for the leaves. I mean, these things look like piles of sticks and debris. But in fact, they're actually homes that are built by the larva of a type of fly. And they build their home with the materials that they find in whatever aquatic habitat they're in. At this vernal pool, what they're going to find a lot of is leaves and sticks, maybe some moss, maybe some bits like these kind of golden ones down here that come off of trees. If they happen to be living in a stream, oh, check that out. Did you see? Right there, you can see it is not just a pile of sticks. You're seeing the larva reaching out and grabbing for some food. So really cool find. And it's called a caddisfly. He's called a log cabin caddisfly because the home that he builds around himself to protect himself ends up looking a little bit like a log cabin. Something else that I'm noticing in here that is pretty cool. This was just moving, and here's another one. I'm going to move a couple things carefully out of the way. And we've got a couple things right here. And what do you notice about those? Again, when I ask you what you notice, some things to think about are color, size, shape, and texture. So that might even be the shape of something that's familiar to you from other trips to a lake or even to the ocean. That is the shape of a clam, and it is in fact a clam. And it's called a fingernail clam. They're called fingernail clams because of how small they are. Okay, Hey friends, as I keep adding to my bucket here, we get a few new organisms. A minute ago we were looking at something that looked a little bit like a tadpole, but it had a longer, thinner body, and it had that crazy hairdo. And I see more of those in here. Let's look right here, you guys. If I drew an imaginary circle here, we have two organisms that are similar, but slightly different looking. So this is the one we've been seeing before with the crazy hairdo, but it's combed back right now. And here's the other one. Do you see how the front part of it, whoops, and another one just swam right over you. It doesn't have the crazy hairdo and its body is rounder, more bulbous. So that is the tadpole. That's the tadpole from the wood frog. And do you remember that great big, like 7 or 9 inch long, big black spotted salamander with the yellow spots on it? Anyways, these guys with the crazy hairdo, that's who they are. This is their larval stage. And what you're seeing there that looks like the crazy hairdo is its gills. That's how it breathes. Its gills are called external gills. They're on the outside of the body, and that's how they get their oxygen. And before they become the yellow-spotted salamander, like we saw a couple weeks ago, they're going to have to change a lot. They're going to need to absorb those gills. They're going to need to develop lungs. They're going to need to grow legs. So they've got a lot of work to do before this vernal pool dries up. Hey, there's a bunch of other stuff in here too, so let's focus on some other things right now. Let's see what else we can find. Take a look right here, and you might notice that we've got a pretty good sized snail. And snails are common to find in vernal pools as well. I think what I might do, friends, is add a few more things and then maybe use my small containers to pull out a couple things to show you some things in isolation. Part of the reason I put this one in a container was so that you could see it up close, but also because even when it's small like this, and it's really teeny, it is maybe about the size of one of the salamander larvae. Anyways, it is the larva of a really big beetle called a predaceous diving beetle. And maybe from the name of that, you can figure out that the beetle is a big predator. Predaceous comes from the word predator. But when it's a larva, it is still a predator. It will eat tadpoles, pretty much anything it can find. And its nickname, other than larva of predaceous diving beetle, which is kind of long, is water tiger. So I have him in his own container so that he doesn't start snacking on everyone else that we have collected today. Okay, hey friends, I am so excited. I was hoping we would find this, but you never know. So check this out. I've put it into one of my smaller containers that I told you I bring. Well, you see our friend the tadpole, but look at this other guy who's in here. This is called a fairy shrimp. Just look at this amazing little organism. I want to give you a little sense of scale. Well, I guess you can see it's a small bucket, and there's my finger pointing down here at him. And see all these things waving? Call them like little appendages. They're like little arms or something. And there are, if you could count them, 11 on each side. So there are 22 altogether. And they're serving a couple of different functions right now. If you remember the crazy hairdo of the spotted salamander from a minute ago, and I told you those were the external gills, that's what's happening here with this guy. So those are the external gills. It's how the fairy shrimp is getting oxygen, which it needs to live because it's an animal, but it's doing a couple of other things as well. As it wiggles those appendages around, it's moving little bits of debris, little broken down bits of leaves and things towards its mouth to help it eat. And it also can help it to move. I wonder if it's just kind of bumped up on the side there and not moving, because he was moving a little bit more before. Let's see if he wants to show you a little bit more how he moves. There he goes. Thanks, friend. So super cool. Not a lot lot of people in the world have seen a fairy shrimp. So I'm really glad that you're getting to see one today, and I hope that you get to make it to a vernal pool and find some for yourself in real life, because they're really beautiful color orange. Anyways, this was great fun. I hope you get out to a vernal pool or a pond or a stream or something, maybe nearby your house, and see what you can find, see what you notice. Take care, friends. Bye. If you have enjoyed this video, please visit our website to learn more about what we do and consider making a donation.